Hey, Damon, happy Monday. Hey, I think this is a different time than we normally go, isn't it? What time?
Yeah, I'm a little late.
Yeah. So, well, when you sleep in like that, right? So, hey, happy Monday. It's the last Monday in June already. It's the last Monday of the quarter. We're halfway through the year. Like what I thought 2024 just started, didn't it?
Yeah, it seemed like
Yeah.
it.
Just like I thought it was just yesterday. So, all right. Hey, thank you for accommodating later time. We're doing a little dinner time with most time zones, I guess. And so, happy Monday, Damon. We have a dear close friend that we're bringing on.
Yes.
Wonderful, fierce entrepreneur, incredible manufacturer. Our dear friend Candy FitzPatrick is in the house. Candy, happy Monday. How are you?
Happy Monday, you guys. It's good to see you here.
Oh, this is awesome. So, hey, we've been in person a couple of times, so I'd much rather be in person, but I guess, this is the next best step is hanging out here. So, Damon, you've met Candy. You had we had a little soiree up in Alaska, right? So,
Yep.
Candy's Alaskan manufacturer, just this wonderful entrepreneur. So, Candy, I think you've popped into the show over the time or two, right? You've come on and had some of our guests over the years. So we have a little question that we'd love to ask. Candy, when you were a little girl growing up, who was your hero? So as a little girl growing up, who did you look up to? Who was your hero?
Wow. I guess I wasn't prepared for that question.
That's a stumper, Damon. How about that one?
It's a good one.
What do you think, Candy? Anybody come to mind? We've had Damon. We've had Wonder Woman. We've had people's parents, grandparents. We've had baseball stars. Who else have we had? We've had Charlie's Angels. So
yep, Charlie.
Candy, what's the first one that comes to your mind?
Well, the first one that comes to mind was Kimba, the White Lion.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Good answer.
Cartoon.
Very good.
Way back.
Well,
gosh, I don't even know how old I was when I watched that.
So do share why Kimba. Let's go there. Why was Kimba a hero to you as a little girl growing up?
Well, I'm not sure about that. I don't even remember why. It just came to my mind first. He must have been on some great adventures and helping people is what I'm thinking.
Well, yeah. Damon, I think that's a great answer.
Yes. Oh, 100%. Because wasn't Kimba the lion that took care of people and took care of the other one? Isn't it the mother lion I can't remember the exact one because my kids used to watch those all the time. But isn't it?
I think so. I'm gonna have to look that up again. It's just like
I will. We'll continue on. I will look it up because I have this little Google machine right here.
Damon's gonna fact check for us, Candy.
Yeah, I will fact check.
So, Candy, as we dive in, you are founder and extraordinaire of an incredible company. We're going to dive into this, but I want to do a little lead in to how this wonderful, brilliant, innovative idea came to you. So just could you share, so little girl growing up, Kimba was your hero, of course. But your early adult life, talk just a little bit about, I think you traveled just a little bit, right? In your lifetime, right? Have you traveled just a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, we started young. My parents, when they were together, we lived in Jersey and we used to drive out west to go on vacation. So that started it. And then when my parents got divorced, my mom and those kids moved to Minnesota, and then we continued with the traveling. We didn't have a lot of money growing up, so it was always drive and camp and, on the down low type vacations. And so that just sparked the interest in traveling in general. And then I had this goal before I was 25. I wanted to go to all 50 states, which I did.
Nice.
And
wow.
And DC and Puerto Rico, because
wow.
Who knows, Puerto Rico might be a state someday, and I'll still be able to say I went to all 50.
What was your favorite?
Well, that's the thing. I wanted to pick where I was going to live, and so here I am in Alaska. So Alaska was my favorite.
So Alaska was your favorite. So what was so appealing about Alaska? What was the allure? Why did your heartstrings pull to Alaska?
I liked its remoteness. I wanted to learn how to fly fish. It's beautiful. I was in aviation for over 30 years, and there's a lot of aviation up here. And there was a lot of guys,
That is,
to be honest.
it's always about the guys, right? It's always about the guys.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I was
it's like,
young.
hey, who doesn't go to Alaska for the guys, right?
Yep.
Is that
Yeah, but
the
I'd say it's about even now, really.
yeah?
Yes, which is nice. So,
Well, excellent. Well, let's go here. Hey, we've got Harry's in the house. Harry,
Hey,
happy
Harry.
Monday to you, buddy.
hi,
Appreciate you
Lori.
joining us. So, Harry, we've got Candy FitzPatrick, founder and CEO of a wonderful company. We're going to dive into this. Candy, just share a little background on your aviation career because I find it absolutely fascinating. And again, this is going to lead up to the product that you discovered, that you founded, that you are rocking it with. So, just share a little bit on your aviation career.
Well, I started being interested in aviation when I was in high school. And even though my dad lived in New Jersey, he was into aviation as well. And so I think maybe that's where it came from, but it always just really interested me. And I went on a college visit with one of my friends, and she was going to a school in North Dakota, which had a huge aviation program. And I said, this is it. This is where I want to be. And initially, I wanted to become a pilot, but really didn't have the funds for that. And everyone has to get at least their private pilot's license to graduate from University of North Dakota in aviation. So I did that. And soloing was excellent and wonderful, but flying was not for me. I didn't love it. And you really got to love it to spend all that money and time doing it. So kudos to the people that do that. And but I got a job, a work study program job at the school being a dispatcher. We had over 100 airplanes and a few helicopters, and so I would dispatch those to the students. And I did that for the whole time I was in college, and did an internship down at FedEx in Tennessee. And so that just kept the ball rolling. And after I graduated, I got hired back at FedEx, and that's how I transferred from, I was in Tennessee, then Indiana, and then Alaska. So my jobs down there were all in aviation flight coordination, but my job in Alaska was courier and customer service, which I did because I just wanted to go to Alaska. So that, snowballed into, I lived in Anchorage in the beginning. I didn't really want to be in the city, and so I was always looking for other opportunities. And I ended up in Southeast Alaska working for the Forest Service as an aircraft dispatcher. It's the two largest forests in the whole country are both in Alaska. The Tongass, which is the largest, and the Chugach, where I am now, is the second largest. And from there, that was aircraft dispatching for government resources and that sort of thing. And I did aircraft investigation stuff as well, nationwide, and aircraft accident investigation stuff.
Yeah.
And then when we moved to the road system, I met my husband down there. We moved to the road system again. So up here, I got interested in the Antarctica and researching and reading a lot about the heroic age of Antarctica, and then I just couldn't rest until I got to Antarctica. So I was commuting from Alaska down to Antarctica, where eventually I did MAC Ops, which is the first year, which is communicating with like South Pole and other outlying stations, checking in with people. And then the second and third year, I did assistant supervisor of helicopter operations. And then the next 7 years, I did helicopter flight following, which is in the air traffic control division. But I'm not an air traffic controller. It was all uncontrolled airspace. And those were some of the funnest jobs I've ever had. And Antarctica is just at McMurdo Station, just a wonderful community. And I learned so much about lots of things there. So, yeah, so that's where we're at. It was commuting from Alaska to Antarctica, which is when I was in pain, sitting on the flights, very long days to get down there and back. Yeah.
Wow. All right, Damon, what do you have?
It's amazing when I hear people talking about going to Antarctica, because I mean, yeah, it's got to be something. So what was the thing that just blew you away about it when you went to Antarctica? I mean, you were there for a while. No, I mean, when you were there, what just blew you away? Like, oh my goodness, I still can't believe this.
Well, it was the jobs being really fun. It's mostly the people that are there, probably anywhere you work, but the people who are down there, most of them are traveling and don't have home bases. They have like containers they put their stuff in,
Oh,
storage
really?
units, but I was lucky. I have a house um, so it's actually like the trips that people would talk about that they were going on, things you would never imagine, just out there. And then like I wanted to learn how to play the bass guitar, and two of my friends stepped up and helped me do that. Super nervous to play in front of people, talk in front of people, but that kind of disappeared when I had a bass guitar between me and them. And it was like I started playing it, and a month later we were doing open mic nights, and I'm like, I'll do the talking. It was just weird to me. Anyway, so we had a few different iterations of bands over the years, and sometimes I played some percussion stuff, and sometimes I played the bass, which is kind of a percussion type of thing, keeping the beat. So that was really fun. And like I had some friends that were really into cross country skiing, which I had sort of learned how to do, but not right before. So they were really patient, and they taught me how to do that. And skiing is one of my favorite things to do ever. Then I learned how to do it down there, and it was really cold.
Yeah.
So it's just
crazy.
the people, I think. Yeah.
Well, because Allison, I forget Allison's last name, but we interviewed her. It's been a while now, but
Allison Levine,
yeah. She skied to the South Pole, right?
Yeah, across the Antarctica. Yes.
Yeah, something like that. I was like, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
because I just think it's got. First of all, of course, it's cold and all that stuff, but not just the remoteness of it. Because you're remote in Alaska, but if you really had to, you could get a plane out to you or something, kinda, but there you just don't.
Yeah. And Damon, Candy and I have a surprise for you. Candy, are you ready? So she's going to break out the bass, and she's going to do a song for us. Candy, do you have the bass right there?
Do a little Rush. No. She's going to play a little Rush, bass from Rush.
You're going to do a little Rush. That's right. So just teasing Candy, but if you do have the bass, we'd love to hear a song. But all right, so Candy, let's dive in. All right, so you're the founder and brainchild of a wonderful company called RestAngles. We're going to dive into it. We're going to take a peek at it. But share what happened on that flight that triggered, because Damon, you hear so many entrepreneur stories. As a matter of fact, I'm traveling today, and I was out to lunch with a client this morning or this afternoon, and same thing. There's a problem, and I'm going to solve it. I'm going to solve it for myself. Well, maybe there's somebody else on the planet that has the same problem. I'm going to bring my solution to them. Then all of a sudden it becomes like a little bit of a hobby. Then all of a sudden the hobby becomes a bit of a side hustle. Side hustle becomes a business. So Candy, please share what was going on with this flight from Alaska to Antarctica that then in turn, and please share the problem. Did you ever have anticipation, or did you have a hunger for an entrepreneurial journey, or like what? Let's take us there. Take us that whole mindset.
So entrepreneur, not so much, but this is a list I wrote in high school of things I wanted to do in life.
In high school?
And it says,
nice.
In high school. And it says, invent something.
Oh, does it really?
No kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
There's a few things that we'll need to do on
here.
You
still have that piece of paper.
Yeah.
That is wild.
It was either 11th or 12th grade. I had this pad of purple paper in both grades. I really hoarded paper because I was always afraid there was not going to be any more paper available to me. So I had this purple pad of paper for about 2 years. So it was either 11th or 12th grade. And then, the teacher sends it to you. They say, write down your goals, and they send it to you later. Yeah. That's what this was. Yeah. Invent something.
Oh, man.
That is awesome.
So cool.
Yeah.
So, all right. So take us there. So that you have this treacherous long flight. What was going on in the flight?
Yeah. So first I have to drive to Anchorage, which is 2 hours. Then I go from Anchorage to either San Francisco or LA, which, is 5 to 6 hours in there. And sitting in airports, if I have to sit in Seattle, depending on how they route you. And then over to Auckland, New Zealand is like 12 to 13 hours. And then after that to Christchurch. So it's a lot of sitting. And the first year I went there, which was '04, I got off the plane in Auckland and I pretty much couldn't walk.
Oh, wow.
I had a really hard time standing up. You know, people make fun of people who stand up right when the plane gets into the gate, pulls in, because you're at the back of the plane, you're not going to be getting off for a while. People are like, why are you standing up? And you're like, because my legs are killing me. That's one reason people stand up,
Right.
or your back or whatever. So there's a reason. And so I'd get off the plane and I'm just walking on terra firma, like, oh my gosh, I cannot, my legs are so much in pain right now. And it took me a while to realize why. So the next year when I went down, I had this cardboard box that I brought with me, and I used that for lots of years, and it helped so much. And I was able to walk. It was still a little uncomfortable, you know, that's a long flight. So eventually the cardboard box morphed into something more that I could use more than twice or three times, because they eventually collapse, right? And so I had a prototype made from a fabricator. It's this, which a fabricator there in Anchorage made for me, and it has leather as hinges, and it's 2.5 pounds. And I used this for 7 years.
Oh, did you really? For 7 years, you used that?
I brought this everywhere. I realized that it was bringing my knees up and level with my hips, or even if I turned it like this or like this above my hips, was way more comfortable. And like I'd use it at restaurants. If I was in a class, I would use it everywhere. And it looks like a Harley kind of thing because the fabricator was a Harley rider.
Yeah.
And when we came up with it, he's like, leather will work for that. And I was like, I know where you're coming from. Let's do that. So eventually that was too heavy to carry around. And I was like, I know I could do better. Lots of people said I have that same problem. I'm like, this is a problem. A lot of people have this problem. And mostly it's people realize it when they're traveling and they're thinking about it. And they're like, man, my legs are killing me right now. And they do their exercises in their seat, and that helps. They get up and walk around, but it's still going to be there for you. And there are other products, you know, out there. There's the sling, and there's another standalone footrest for this purpose. And I tried them, and they're all fine. We all have our favorites of everything, right? So I said, I know I can make this better. And so in 2017, I was kind of wanted to get out of aviation and worrying about weather every day. So even though I worked seasonally, I had lots of time to do what I wanted as well, which was great. But and I just kind of left the aviation a little bit behind me and started concentrating on the making it better. So I don't know if I can show it at this point, but so now it's this, and it only weighs 12 5/8 ounces. So yeah, huge improvement. And I got some help from the Anchorage Makerspace people. 2 guys that are over 6 feet tall helped me with this. And they're like, I think I know where you're coming from. And one of them actually went around town and found seats that were too tall for him, mostly stools, and let his legs dangle so he could get the idea.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
they helped me a lot. They're at the Makerspace. And they helped me start my business as well. So it all depends on who is at the Makerspace that you're working with, on what their specialties are. So I paid them to help me start. And so that was in 2018. 2017 and 2018 is when I started working on it. So it's been a journey from there.
Been a journey. So isn't it fascinating how, you know, how many products, how many businesses come out of somebody's own, you know, problem, hassle, frustration, hurt, pain, and, you know, hey, I'm going to solve this. And then, you know, it sparks a fire. And now, you know, hey, I'm going to solve this for other people. Damon, I'm going to pull up the website so we can show people what's
yeah, let's do.
Amazing job. Any comments that anything going through your mind or anything?
Well, I mean, it really hurts when you got your legs hanging. I mean, it does, and especially for hours and hours. And so it doesn't really matter if you're setting and you have to, you know, you could be in an office setting. I see a lot of people that have footrests under their desk because if you want to be high enough to be right with the desktop, especially now when we have, like, my desk has got an extra because I've got the standing desk on top of my regular desk. It makes it a little taller. So if people aren't tall enough, their feet are dangling for a long time, and that's bad. Or you get too low and your hands are up high, and it's really an ergonomic thing.
Yes, exactly. Damon, that is exactly what it is. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, let's dive in. We're going to take a peek, and let me grab the website right here and here. And all right, how's that look? So, Candy, so let's go through your entrepreneurial journey, if you will. Okay, so you start working on a prototype, big clunky, Harley Davidson replica, right? And then you find a couple guys who are over 6 feet tall who knock it out of the park, and so now you have this little collapsible piece. Walk us through like 2018, 19, like when was there a tipping point or a time where you're like, I think this could be a business? Can you take us there? Like, do you remember that time frame?
Yeah, I spent a lot of years in research and development, and because I'm bootstrapping, I still am. And so I had to take it and the rate that I could manage myself. So we started, the Makerspace folks helped me with, they laser cut some wood models, which I painted because I have a hard time touching unfinished wood. and they were held together with duct tape, and I did some pitch competitions using that, and that was kind of fun. And I was super nervous to talk in front of people. And my entrepreneurial journey is hand in hand with my my journey to be able to talk in front of people. It's scary, and the more you do it, the better you get at it, right? So, so the entrepreneurial journey. So I had some testers, an alpha testing group and a beta testing group. Eventually, what they could do for me at the Makerspace, I outgrew their resources, and I found in Fairbanks a manufacturer that had a CNC cutter. So, which is, deductive manufacturing and take away. So I wanted the living hinge because I had some great advice from someone in New Zealand who created the insides of the aircraft for Air New Zealand. He was talking about living hinges, and it hadn't really crossed my mind that actually had a name. And so I really wanted that instead of having some kind of a pin or something in there. And to be able to do that was not as easy as it sounds. That it, structurally will stay together. And so that part was hard to convince people that it was possible, and also just to get it done. So the CNC people in Fairbanks were wonderful, and there was an engineer there that helped me a lot. And we did the alpha and beta testing units from there, and then that was the most that they could do for me. And then another entrepreneur who's one of my mentors and now friend, he's in Sitka. You might know him, Tim Fulton, Ramper Innovations. You guys know him? No?
I have not met Tim.
No, I'm not met Tim.
No. Okay. So he helped me find someone in Idaho that was able to redesign my what I had CNC machined into injection mold material, which is what you see there. It's SGW Design Works, and that's the model that they put together for me. And so from there, they helped me find a manufacturer, and then it's just been a slow process. And I'm still now working with my manufacturer, who's awesome, in Malaysia. And they don't do the engineering for you, but once the tool is made, they tweak it for you, and you say, can you help me with this? And so I don't use SGW Design Works for this part. I am working directly with the awesome manufacturer, and we're doing an improved version. I mean, this is perfectly fine. It's my baby. It's my baby. And but the next ones are going to be dark blue. I didn't bring the chip up here, but yeah. And so it's going to be a different color, and it has some little tiny improvements. So I'm going to be doing my next purchase order here soon, which is scary. And I had to get my first business loan, which the Alaska Small Business Development Center helped me a lot with in Seward. I don't think I could have done the whole process without their help. So you got to help. You got to get help along the way. Like you
Yeah.
guys helped me
Yeah.
with my customer discovery, which has been going on for a couple years now, and personas and all of those things that you guys helped with. So I don't know. There's like two sides. There's like the manufacturing side, and then the side of the entrepreneurial side that includes the customer discovery in there. So, and that was put together by the Alaska Manufacturing Extension Partnership that you guys work with. So the classes that they put on are great, and it mostly involves you guys. So
Well,
you're part of my story.
Well, it's
Awesome.
an honor, and believe it or not,
Yeah.
Candy, you and I met over 3 years ago. So it was 2021. We were doing a cohort, Damon, and Candy came on, and some other
Yep.
wonderful manufacturers that we've become friends with, and had
Yep.
our meeting in person when we've done workshops in person in Alaska. And so, Candy, so I want to unpack a few things here, Damon. So
Yeah. Yeah.
for new entrepreneurs, when you have a vision, you have a dream, and you're like, you know what, I so firmly believe in this. This is a problem. Like this isn't acceptable. And I'm not the only person that's flying, not only, from Alaska to Antarctica, but, any long flight, or like you're describing, Candy, sitting in an office, going to a movie. Damon, before we went online, you're describing, your spouse, faces these. I have family members that are, that face this. So, Candy, take us here, talk a little bit. Say there's a manufacturer out there that has an idea, has a concept. Do you have any advice for them? You've mentioned Small Business Development Center. You've mentioned your friend Tim. You've mentioned engineers. You've mentioned Idaho. You've mentioned Alaska, our dear, dear, dear friends at the Alaska Manufacturing Extension Partnership. Shout out to Dr. Alyssa, Sammy Joe, Megan,
Yep.
Peyton, the whole team at the Alaska MEP. Any advice that you would give for other entrepreneurs that have a dream, a vision, or a product similar to what you've done?
I would say it would be the rare exception that someone can do all of this on their own.
Yeah.
And that you really need other people to help you. And I would say that it's hard to be a manufacturer in Alaska, and mostly we have to, for things like this and bigger things, and like shoes. I have a friend that does shoes, Pandier shoes. You kind of have to go elsewhere. So you just have to be open to finding the resources and then not being afraid to go elsewhere. I wanted to stay in Alaska as much as I could, but I needed something outside of Alaska or outside of the US. And it's a scary thing to try to figure out, and there's people to help. So it's hard. It would be hard to do it everything on your own, especially if you're a solopreneur, or even if you're in a partnership for your business. You're not going to know everything. So
right.
Getting the people to help and mentors.
It takes a village, right? It takes a village to raise a child, as they say. It takes a village to raise a product. Damon, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I'm just thinking about this whole process and how cool it is that you sticking with it. They had to be tough along the ways and going, oh my goodness, here and there, and the just the challenges. But then, like you said, finding the right resources. You talk about working with somebody in Malaysia, and I think about, it's a big process to get to where you're at. It's a big process.
Yeah. And when you say like it's hard to always, you have bad days often, and some days are good, but mostly it's even or kind of hard days, and you have to have the person that understands, or people that understand where you're coming from. And I joined the Women Inventors Club on Facebook. It's run by Marcy McKenna, who sells things on HSN, and she's just a wonderful mentor. And she is also involved with the Grommet, and I have launched on the Grommet, which is a great resource for inventors as well, once you get to selling. So the Grommet, are you guys familiar with the Grommet?
No, I'm not.
So it's basically I think they have up to 900 inventors on there now that have their products, and it's like you go there and you can search for what you're looking for, and then it sends the person to your website to buy, so you get the customer information and you can find out what their demographics are if you want, and all of that stuff. It's wonderful. They launch 20 products every Thursday. So Marcy got us involved in that, and she has a group of women and also is in there moderating. And I've made a lot of friends there in the Women Inventors Club in Facebook, and they really, like, a few of them, we were talking on instant messenger and just lifting each other up and helping each other out as much as we can. I just shared a booth at the Travel Goods Association trade show with one of them, which was wonderful to meet her and her friend in person. And so there's a course, other entrepreneurs in Alaska that we lean on each other as well. And it's not an easy road. It's not an easy road to hoe alone. So
yes,
I'll tell you what's so admirable and so inspirational is, number one, your persistence, and number two, Candy, since you and I have become friends, what I've always admired, what I sense, and I think, Damon, you see this with a lot of folks that are successful in entrepreneurship, is you have a hunger and a thirst to learn. And so you're constantly, we've talked about you've come to different, every, course that the Alaskan AP offers, different workshops. You and I have talked about taking, I think you remember that digital course with Pedro, the marketer. And so, what I've always admired is that you just have a constant hunger. When we would do our workshops, you'd show up, you're like the eager student, just totally, absorbing and a sponge, trying to, learn, from your website, Damon. If we pulled up like the Wayback Machine when she first started to now, your website is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about the digital marketing or website. Talk a little bit about your transformation, evolution, journey. How's that been on that side of things for you?
Well, I believed that I couldn't set up websites, and so twice I hired marketing people to help me with it. And the one they're looking at there is the second marketing firm that I contracted with in Anchorage, and now it's mine. Like, they helped me for a while, and then now it's me putting stuff on there. And I'm like, I could do this.
Yeah.
I just didn't believe in myself enough.
Right.
And then for the grommet, you have to have a Shopify website. This one that we're looking at here is my Squarespace one, but over there you have to have Shopify because all their things that work with it are all in Shopify. And I'm like, well, I guess it's me. I'll set that up. And I did.
You
and
did.
It was, yeah. So I went from knowing absolutely nothing about websites and terrified to do it myself to, I can do this. I have a little bit of knowledge now. So I'm still not so good on the social media stuff. I need to work on that, but I can do it because I have to do it. So.
Yep.
I'd say the website, I think, just looks absolutely fantastic.
Oh yeah.
You've got videos. It's nice and clean. It explains the product extremely well. And are there any videos that you want us to? Is there anything that you want us to show? Any videos that you want me to pop on?
Well, they're all kind of long.
Are they long?
There's nothing short. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Damon, what are your comments here as far as the website?
Well, I mean, this, like all you say, you're describing the entrepreneurial journey so well here, Candy, because you get into it and you realize that, well, I need people to help me in certain places, and that's going to stay. But there's some of this that you find that in the beginning, at least, it really is stuff that it's easier and better for you just to take it on, learn it and take it on. Like your website, you can get a lot of people to help you, and it's a great thing. At a certain point, 5 years down the road, you could have somebody redo it and it'd be wonderful. But when you're starting out and you see things and you go, oh, I'd really like to change that text to those 2 words, just don't ring with me. And you can't do it. That's really frustrating.
Right.
And now that you can, and you can adjust it and you learn it enough, and okay, I'm good enough to be dangerous. Yeah, I can take care of these little things if we need to, and I don't need to bother anyone, or I can get it done quickly. That's the other thing that's so nice about it.
It now it empowers you. And the thing is, Candy, as you grow, the nice thing is, even not that you want to do everything on your own, but now, as you grow and you want to outsource this, now what your expectations are. Now you can speak the language.
You can be real clear. Yeah.
So
yeah, that is an excellent point. Now I know what I'm asking someone else to do and the time frame to do it. And you guys hit it right spot on there.
Yep.
If I needed something to start with, and that progressed.
Yeah.
And now it's like, I need to know how to do this. And now I understand what I'm asking other people to do. However, I do have a contract accountant because I don't want to do that ever.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. I don't want to mess that up. And I also have attorney who I pay him monthly, and then if I need contracts looked over or whatever, he just looks them over. So those are the two things that I probably won't ever do myself, the accounting and understanding all the legalese. So I know those are not my strengths, and they are wonderful people both in Alaska. So,
well, man, I tell you, this is like a masterclass in how, for someone that has no entrepreneurial background, on how to make that conversion. So Damon, we talk a lot about working on your business compared to working in your business. Our dear friend Don Higgs, that's kind of his jam. And I know he was on your show not too long ago. But Candy, and it's hard to find that balance of what portion of the business do I work on myself, or when I'm working on the business compared to working in the business. And so again, if you're out there, you're an entrepreneur, and your weak spot is finances, accounting. Boy, get that expert, get that someone on your team. So, if you don't have the hunger, don't have the passion, don't have the interest, the aptitude to, overcome a weakness, get somebody on your team that can prop it up and turn it into a strength, because now you have a team. And, again, it takes a village to raise a child, right? It takes a village to raise a business. So I love what you're saying here, Candy. This was a portion that you wanted to do on your own. You have a hunger to do on your own. And now, as you grow, you could outsource that and communicate it. Damon, thoughts, comments for entrepreneurs that are listening to this?
Yeah, I just think it's it's setting a great example for people that, you started in 2017, 2018 with this, and we're in 2024. We're calling 6-7 years later. These things don't happen quick, usually, right? It's not easy. And there are times when you just go, wow, could I just pack this up and put it away? But you saw the problem, you knew that this is going to help, and now things are starting to roll and the flywheel starts to move, and it's got to keep going. And I think that's the hardest thing in the entrepreneurial journey is so many people quit when the flywheel is just starting to move, rather than continuing to go until it gets rolling. And that just so much in here. Yep. There's so much.
Yeah, that's so true, Damon. You hit that on a spot. Every day I wake up like, can I do this one more day?
Yep.
I did have to get a job. So. Yeah.
I love it. So, all right, Candy. So the website is RestAngles. We've got Candy FitzPatrick. You can find Candy on LinkedIn. As you said, you're getting better. How about that? You're getting better on social media. As we start winding down, I want to be mindful of your time, Candy. Any other things that we want to comment on the website, the product, your entrepreneurial journey, anything else that you want to share here?
As Damon was saying, the idea every day to keep going is hard. But you just do it because you know that, as you said, it's just starting to get going and it's slow. And I have one entrepreneur friend who's in year 14, and she told me she feels like she's just now starting. So I'm halfway there. Yay. But it's so much. But and in the meantime, you have to do what you have to do. You have to live life. You have to take care of yourself. You can't just throw your life out the window. And I don't pay myself yet, so I did have to get a job where I work on the slope, the oil field. So I'm 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. But I do have someone to help here. My husband helps with shipping when I get orders while I'm away. But I did have to do that. But you got to do what you got to do to
Yep.
keep it going. I had some debt.
Yep.
I don't like being in debt for my business. And so it was like the job is helping with that. And hopefully he can
Yep.
retire this year. And so your life is still happening, and it's important to live the life that you've already built. I'm very happy with my life. And so, and this is just one part of it, and it's a very important part. And I do want to see it to where it's actually can be a business on its own, and I'm not the only person that it relies on. And I want it to have its own life at some point. And I know it can't be that far away because I'm at it every day. I do something for my business every day. So it's hard sometimes, but it's fulfilling, but it is hard. So
I'll tell you are
awesome.
incredible inspiration, and I love this picture. How as we're coming, end of summer and or end of summer, we're starting summer, and end of June, and it's a little toasty out today. But what a cozy picture that is right there, right? And I love these images that you're providing here, Candy. So
thanks.
Just let's recap just a few things, and I think the bottom line, I think the big thing is I've you and I have built a friendship over the years, Candy, is just really your relentlessness of helping others. It's you're trying to build a business, but in the same regard, you had this problem, and other people have the exact same problem. You've come up with this wonderful solution, and just the spirit of helping people. And what's your tagline? Bring the floor to your feet. Is that do I have that correct?
Yeah, that's right,
Yep.
Kurt. Yep.
So you're bringing the floor to people's feet. So
there you go.
Let's wind down.
I'm just going to trademark for that.
That's right. Absolutely.
Nice.
So I absolutely love this. Candy, last question that I want to ask you is I might put you on a little spot, so you might have to process this one for a second. I've referenced multiple times entrepreneur out there. Say through your journey, you've had a lot of folks come into your life, and again, you've been wide open to bringing in these advisors, guides, Sherpas to kind of help you get through this process. What would you say is the best business advice that you've been given or you've received through your journey that you would you're very grateful for, or maybe you would pass along to a new or a young entrepreneur? What's the best business advice that you would say that you've received?
Wow, that's another good question. As an entrepreneur, you get a lot of advice from a lot of people, even when you don't ask. I can't even tell you how many people say you should go on Shark Tank, and almost every entrepreneur will tell you that. Someone will say, you should go on Shark Tank. And you're like, well, why do I want to give part of my business away right away? I just started my business.
Right.
So people are familiar with the Shark Tank, and that's what they think of, which is great. Yeah. I love watching that show. But I don't remember who told me this, but because you get so much advice, it may not be advice for where you're at now, but hang on to that advice for where you might be in 2 years, So it might be something that's more advanced than you're ready for. I don't remember who told me that, but
that's wise advice, though.
Yeah. So just because it seems so outrageous, it doesn't mean that 2 years from now it's outrageous. So
right. So sometimes it's not necessarily that the advice isn't right. It's just not right for now, and something that you can absorb, and it's going to be completely applicable for you down the road.
Yeah. And there has been times where I'll be doing something and I'll be like, oh my gosh, somebody told me about this like 4 years ago. And here I am doing that very thing.
Here it is. Who knew that advice would come in so handy? So, well, Candy, as we wind down, I'll stop sharing here and go back, bring you back on stage. So, hey, how about a huge round of applause? And hey, and I didn't see Skylar's here. Man, Damon, I apologize. I didn't.
Skylar was here, and Harry's here. So yeah, we got.
My wife had a major sciatic nerve issues. Okay, when she was pregnant while working. Did you find this to be a solution for women like my wife who had a sciatic nerve issues during pregnancy? How about that question there?
Well, I have to precursor this answer in that I'm not a medical professional. I am loosely in the ergonomic field. So I know that a little bit about sciatica sciatic nerve issues because I have a friend with that, and I am not sure that it would help with that. But I would say on the pregnancy side, if your legs are dangling and you're very uncomfortable sitting there, and it would feel better for your knees to be at hip level or above, which I would imagine. I've never been pregnant. I don't have any children, so I don't know personally. But I would think that having your legs up is more comfortable, like sitting in an easy chair, even though you're not in an easy chair. So I would say it would help with the pregnancy, and also when you're nursing a child and you can't move much and your legs are dangling, you can just dangles over there, and that helps you get more comfortable in that way as well.
Yep.
So again, I'm not a medical professional, so sorry.
You had a problem and you made something to solve it.
That's right. And that's a great question, Harry. And I had back surgery 100 years ago, and I know, like to Harry's point, and a lot of times, if you put your legs up, it definitely makes a huge difference. So as we wind down, I'm going to grab a couple comments. So Skylar, he says, hey, I started the same way. He agrees with you 100% on the accountant, and he's saying stick with it.
Yeah,
he's having one of these days. He's like, you've got this. So Skylar, thank you for all of your awesome comments.
Yes, thanks, Skylar.
And so as we wind down, I dropped RestAngles in the chat box there. Again, connect with Candy FitzPatrick here on LinkedIn. Strongly encourage you, invite you, welcome you to do so. Damon, should we give a huge round of applause for Candy FitzPatrick today? So just absolutely crushing it. She was a little bit, and I know Candy, probably a couple of years ago, like this was not a thing that you would do. And so, very courageous. We just send you so much love, admiration, respect, and just what you're doing is so inspiring for other entrepreneurs, and just, keep it going. We're in your corner. We support you 110%, and just, it's such an honor and privilege for us to be even part of the journey with you. So, thank you for your trust and for letting us being by your side through this. So, Damon,
thank you for being part of my journey.
Absolutely. So, Damon, anything that you want to close out with?
Just thanks for being with us today, Candy, and sharing this. It's so great to get to talk to you again and learn more about your story.
So,
thank you so much.
All right, Damon, I know you need to get going because Odin is waiting for you. So let's, Candy, I have one last question, Damon. I have to ask it super quick.
There we go.
Since Candy's a musician, Candy, I asked like a really goofy baseball question. Like when baseball players walk up to home plate to go up to the plate to hit, and all of a sudden a song pops up, their walk-up song. What's your walk-up song? If you were walking up to the plate to go hit in a home run, what's your walk-up song?
Oh, I would say my best friend Nancy's going to laugh at this because it's our song. It's Push It by Salt and Pepper.
Push It.
From the 80s.
Man, you went old school right there, Damon.
Yeah.
That's our generation. So, so Salt and Pepper, please. Little Push It real good. So, all right, that was a great answer. Thank you, Candy. So, Candy, hang out with us for 1 second. We appreciate you. We applaud you. We commend you. Keep it going. And hey, as we close out, Damon, we've got an incredible guest, or another guest coming up on Friday. But just keep being someone's inspiration, just like our friend Candy is. And man, everybody's just making the world a better place. And so, we guys have an amazing, incredible week. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be live tomorrow morning with a wonderful manufacturer. I'm here in Chicago. Going to be live with a manufacturer on Thursday, and then we're back here at our regular showtime on Friday. So
busy week.
We got a busy week. Just spreading lots of love to our manufacturing friends out there. So we'll see you guys soon. God bless. Have a great day.
See you, everyone.
Thank you, guys.